from the soul with it. Yeah. So ESPN Brian Windhorst has taken over the ESPN podcast, The Hoop Collective, a podcast which featured Dave McMenamin, who's a new writer for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not sure if he will be permanent on the show, but they have been making a ton of changes at ESPN. Everybody's getting fired, B. Ain't nobody safe, okay? So the topic of the day was the 2018-2019 Western Conference preview. They started off by talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and how they looked in the preseason, also their expectations for this season. They believe that the Lakers season will be a wild season. And one of the guys compared it to Miami's first year and how they got off to a slow start. And that's when Brian Windhorst wasn't having it. He was like, nah, bruh. Brian Windhorst stated that it was a fun ride in Miami. So that is when the guy brought up the Cavs 2014-2015 season in comparison to the Lakers season this season. That's when Brian Windhorst just wasn't having it. He stated that that was also a fun ride as well, but then stated if the Lakers are as good as last season Cavs, they'll be doing backflips down Figueroa. And I don't know if he wanted to get a laugh or a chuckle or something, but that wasn't funny, bruh, at all, okay? So one of the members stated the Cavs last season weren't that good before they made all those trades at the deadline. So that's when Brian Windhorst, he just got on his arrogance and his cocky mode. He was like, but they were better than the Lakers. So that's when they started speaking about this Lakers roster and if there will possibly be any changes. So Brian Windhorst said, how many teammates have LeBron James played with the last 8 seasons? Maybe like over 60 or so. And says, that's what they should tell the Los Angeles Lakers. So I'm like, this man really got the nerve to think he all big and bad and can talk bad about the Lakers. I'm like, who this man think he is, okay? And then he states that all of them are on 1-year contracts. Brian Windhorst also stated how they will be hearing multiple comparisons to that Miami Heat super team and that Cavs super team, and says that they were loaded, but says that's not the case with this Lakers team. So one of the guys brought up how the Lakers are counting on the young guys to make leaps. Windhorst says that may happen. And they were talking about Brandon Ingram and his star potential, but stating that Brandon Ingram is a point forward, and they kind of stated that they don't know how that will work with LeBron James being a point forward himself. So that's when Brian Windhorst asked the guys, like, who are the Lakers' best 5 players? And that's when they said LeBron, Ingram, Kuzma, Lonzo, and Josh Hart. First they said Lance Stevenson, but then they changed it over to Josh Hart. That's when Brian Windhorst was speaking on how loaded the West is and who is going to guard these top big men. Steven Adams, Rudy Gobert, Jokic. The Warriors, when DeMarcus Cousins come back, says who going to guard DeAndre Ayton. They brought up Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Marc Gasol, bro. And one of the guys stated that the Lakers have JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee. Then he said he don't think that JaVale McGee will be the answer. So that's when Brian Windhorst stopped him right in his tracks, bruh. And this is exactly what Brian Windhorst said. He said, just to be fair, I don't think we should look at the Lakers roster today and say, this is the team. And they all agreed with Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst also stated that we all seen what happened with the Cavs last season and how those trades happened in a split second. And he stated that for all he know, Jimmy Butler could be traded to the Lakers, but says he doesn't think that will happen, but doesn't rule anything out. I agree and I disagree with Brian Windhorst. I do believe unless this Lakers roster prove they could compete at a high level every night, and unless Brandon Ingram prove he's a bona fide superstar, then this roster can be totally different by January or February. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron James himself calls Adam Silver, even if he smells the Lakers are losing, even if he get a little scent, a smell that the Lakers are losing too much, he probably give a call to Adam Silver with Magic Johnson on 3-way and say, Magic, watch this. And Adam Silver be like, yeah, LeBron, what do you need? I want Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard on the team by the morning now. Adam Silver gonna be like, well, okay, you got it, Bron. Well, you got it there, Bron. Next thing you know, Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard will be on the team by the morning, and everybody gonna be like, how in the world did that happen? Okay. Okay. But on a serious note, I think the pressure is on Brandon Ingram. I think it's important that he must show his versatility. He has to make shots, especially open shots. You know, all the greats have come into the NBA and weren't great shooters, become better shooters. They had to develop that. And that's because if teams start to keep him from driving, he can't rely on finishing at the rim. MJ, Kobe, all the greats, etc., all went through it. They had to perfect their jump shot because it opened things up and it gave them more options instead of being a one-trick pony. You know, I read the comments and I seen people say, well, Kyle Kuzma missed all these shots and he should be in the starting lineup. Listen, that was one preseason game. You know, just like with Brandon Ingram, that was one preseason game where he didn't, I'm not saying he didn't shoot particularly well, but the Lakers lacked a lot of three-point shooting and they lacked a lot of shooting, period. So you're going to need for Brandon Ingram to be consistent or at least be able to make shots, because if not, I'm not just judging it off of one game. We'll have to see, and we'll have to see throughout the regular season if Brandon Ingram can be a great jump shooter. But like I said, I'm not worried about Kyle Kuzma. I know that Kyle Kuzma is capable of making these shots. You know, of course he's going to miss, but when Kyle Kuzma gets it going, we know it's a wrap. Like burrito, okay? And I believe that Kuzma in the starting lineup, Braun will give him a lot of good three-point looks. And, you know, he will set Kuzma up very well. But as far as the Lakers being worse than the Heat and the Cavs, I do have to agree with that. I already gave my prediction. I still stand by my Lakers prediction. I think that they'll get an 8th seed, and I think they'll finish with a record of 47-35. So, no, I don't think the Lakers will be on that level of the Heat and the Cavs. They had a super team. Like, they had a super team. And so unless Ingram and Kuzma become bona fide superstars, that's the only way they'll be on that level. I told you guys, I analyzed, you know, a lot. LeBron struggled last season with that Cavs team, and not just the first team, but that second team as well, the team he traded for. You notice I said the team. He had a whole new team at the trade deadline, okay? And they struggled to win 50 games last season, and that was the East. We in the West now. Like, remember that, okay, man? Come on, man. Like, I'm telling you, man, this is a brand new season, man. And I'm not going off of preseason. As y'all seen with the Denver Nuggets, you know, they are loaded. And that's not even that's going to be a top contender. You know, that's not the Thunder, the Warriors, the Rockets. Like, I'm telling you, the Spurs, and I think the Spurs are going to surprise a lot of people this year. You know, like I said, the West is just so tough. I think a lot of people got a feel for that the other day. But I got to admit, you know, I don't appreciate Brian Windhorst reminding us about all these top players we got to face every night, okay? And last but not least, I got to finish by talking about LeBron being a point forward and him and Brandon Ingram being able to play together, being as though Brandon Ingram is a point forward as well. You know, it's positionless basketball now, brother. You know, almost every player on the roster that is versatile enough to get the ball off the glass and push it. You know, Luke Walton made Ingram a point forward. Like, he hasn't always been a point forward. You know, he made him play point guard. He could play off the ball. He played off the ball very well at Duke. So I definitely don't agree with that. You know, y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all agree with Windhorst? Let me know. Get in that comment box. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Okay.